Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have a super fun and playful winter wonderland type of vibes for my nail design, and we'll get more into that later, but for right now I want to show you what I'll be using today. So normally if you guys watch my videos, I use the Beetles nail glue, but today I'm going to be using the APRES Extend Gel. Now, as you can see, the consistency is thick. Okay, if you've been on TikTok lately, you see that girl where she be like thicker than a Snicker. Okay, that's what it is. It was thick, but I will say a little bit goes a long way. So I was very impressed when it came to that. Now, the closest thing I can compare it to in terms of the consistency would be like builder gel or hard gel. So it's not like really thick where you can't use it. It's just got that gooey like consistency. So it's not a bad thing at all. It was just different in comparison to the Beetles nail glue. And if you've ever used Beetles, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I also really liked that whenever you go to push the nail tip down in order to spread the glue down to the free edge, it doesn't just burst out everywhere. It goes very smoothly. It takes its time, versus with the Beetles nail glue, it kind of just, even though you're not rushing it, it can kind of just move too quick, and you got to be really careful. Versus this, it takes its time. When you push it down, it doesn't just glide everywhere, and you can really control where you're moving the glue, because if you've ever worked with Gel-X tips, you kind of know that when you're doing your own tips, you're sort of dominant on one side of the nail versus the other, so the glue tends to push down faster on one side. So I really like that I was able to control where I needed the glue to go. Now, the bottle itself is not very big, and I know that APRES can be a little bit pricey, but like I said, a little bit went a long way, and I was really impressed by that. So we'll see how fast it takes me to run through this bottle, and then I'll come back and let you guys know a full review on what I think of the APRES Extend Gel. After my application, it was time to seal that cuticle area in and blend that tip into my natural nail plate as much as possible. So I always go in with either this purple carbide bit by Melody Susie or my gold 5-in-1 carbide bit by Melody Susie. I've been leaning towards this one a little bit more lately just because it's faster and it gets the job done a lot quicker. And when you're a stay-at-home mom like me and you got the kiddos running around the house, you need to get these nails done quick. So definitely loving this bit a lot more lately. Another thing that I always do after this is I go in with my mini sanding band by Melody Susie. I only use the mini sanding band, and it's been a game changer for me, so you guys should definitely check those out as an alternative to the normal sizes that have been going around for ever. And then after that, this time I did remember to show you guys me sort of melting in that tip into my natural nail plate using acetone. That's a very important step if you want your nails to last. So here I am melting that tip in. It's just a tiny bit of acetone, you guys. You don't need a lot because you don't want to flood your cuticles or anything like that. We want to avoid as much product on our skin as possible. I know that sometimes it does happen, or depending on what type of nail art you're doing, it is a little bit inevitable. You will get something on the skin, but just be sure to clean it up and avoid that as much as possible. Now it's time for the nail art. So bear with me because there's a lot going on to kick things off. First, you're going to need some saran wrap. You're also going to need a handheld flash curing light because that just makes life so much easier with this process. And you don't have to be like really neat when it comes to the saran wrap. Just rip a couple of pieces off because you're going to crumple them anyways. And then you're going to need some hard gel and a dotting tool. What I like to do to create this sort of glass icicle look underneath the nail is take some hard gel. I've seen people use top coat, but to me, the hard gel is just sticky enough that it holds the saran wrap in place, and top coat just doesn't do that. So I take the hard gel, wipe some underneath the nail, and then I take my dotting tool and just start squishing around. It doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, icicles are not perfect. And once you like how it looks, you're going to go ahead and flash cure that in place. Once everything is said and done, I do fully cure that. That way there's no uncured gel underneath the nail. After I fully cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds, that's when I go and take the saran wrap off. Now it does get kind of stuck, but I mean, that's okay. You're going to just rip it off anyways. Just go ahead and file underneath the sidewalls to sharpen things back up. Now, if you've never done this design before, let me go ahead and save you the trouble by saying do not top coat the bottom of the nail. If you put top coat on the bottom of the nail, I know you're going to think, oh, it's going to be extra glossy because I'm going to put top coat on the bottom and the top. What you end up doing is just wiping away the icicle design completely. So don't do that. You can absolutely top coat the top of the nail where you're going to do all your designs and stuff, but don't put top coat on the bottom. Now, the next thing that I do before I stop talking for a little bit is I start working on my ombres, which is the base for the nail. Every single one of these nails has an ombre design, and they are of different colors. So I start off using an ombre brush for the cuticle areas of the nail, and that's because I'm trying to avoid using my airbrush as much as possible lately, because I don't like all of the particles that are just left floating in the air. Even though I do use an air purifier and I open my windows, I do the whole 9 yards, you guys, but no matter what I do, there's just too much particles left in the air for me. So I will be switching over to the ombre gel pretty soon. But for right now, this is the method that I'm using to avoid using my airbrush as much as possible. I do 2 coats. Well, actually 3 coats. Sorry, they're too jelly. So I end up actually doing 3 coats of every shade. And then I go in and use my airbrush, and for my airbrush I end up doing 2 coats of every shade at the bottom of each nail. If you were wondering what products I'm using or the colors that I'm using, please feel free to check the link to my Amazon storefront in the description. Some of the links are already put in the description itself. It's just that I use so many products throughout the nail design that I would just be throwing products out there 24/7 throughout the video. So just to save some time, I just go ahead and throw the links down in the description below, and you guys can absolutely check those out. So the next thing that I do is I start working on my ring nail. Now, originally I wanted the bottom to be glossy and then throw acrylic powder over the top of the design itself. That way it stands out a little bit more. But I could not get the gel polish to like be straight and seamless. If you pay attention really close, you can see it's sort of like curdling is the only word I could think of, where the lines just kind of start reacting like water and wiggling in on themselves, and it was driving me absolutely crazy. So I just went ahead and matte top coated the entire nail again and started fresh. Now I did switch matte top coats. Right here I'm using the not polish matte top coat, and it did give me quite a few problems. Normally I use my McCart matte top coat and I can get crispy, clean, smooth lines, absolutely no problem. But for whatever reason, even though I was wiping this nail clean after I cured it with Swipe, I just could not get straight lines. They just kept acting as though I was painting over a glossy top coat, and it was driving me crazy. So I don't know if it's the top coat or if it was my gel polish, but I'll try it again one more time in another nail design to see, and I'll let you guys know what I think about the not polished matte top coat.
We finally made. 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 We finally made.
right here I am taking some liner gel that is of, it's a similar color to the pink that I'm using on the other nail for my ombre. And the reason I switched over to liner gel is just simply because, like I said earlier, the lines were giving me a huge problem and they weren't coming out as clean as I wanted them to be, but liner gel tends to solve that problem right away. So whenever I can in this video, I am using liner gel. So right here, this pink is liner gel, and then the blue that I use next is also liner gel. Now, if I'm being 100% honest, right about here, I was thinking to myself that this nail is giving 4th of July baby shower. Is it not? Now that you're looking at it, I don't know. I kept looking at it thinking like it's not giving Christmas swirls, it's giving 4th of July baby showers. And I'm pretty sure it's because of the colors. Had I done glitter with red and green, I probably would not be thinking that. But I chose pink and blue. And the blue and the pink are so like boy girl baby shower colors. So let me know what you guys think about that nail in particular in the comments. Next, I went to my pinky nail. Now right here I am using liner gel just so the lines can come out a little bit cleaner. And then I throw acrylic powder over that. What I do with the acrylic powder is after I do my design, I don't cure it. I go ahead and throw some acrylic powder over it, and I throw it in the lamp right away. I don't brush it or nothing, just throw it in the lamp, cure it for a full 60 seconds, and then once you take it out, you can absolutely start brushing away all of the leftover powder from the acrylic to make everything nice and clean. next it was time to work on my snowflake. Now this was the first time I've ever done a snowflake like this, and you know, go big or go home. I am trying to challenge myself a little bit when it comes to the nail art, and I've always seen these beautiful snowflakes on Instagram and Pinterest, and I always want to try them but never actually do. So why not? This was the video for it. What I start off doing is making diamonds. Now the tricky part about this snowflake in particular is that all of the diamonds have to be even. You can start off by making even lines all the way around the nail, or you can start making dots all the way around the nail. I just found that by the time I spread out the diamond, everything is uneven. So I just made an actual diamond and then followed the outline moving forward, and that seemed to work a lot better for me. And these diamonds are covered in not the diamonds, but like the snowflake is acrylic as well. So because the lines were giving me problems, I had to throw acrylic over each individual diamond, and I had to do this very slowly. I couldn't just do the whole snowflake in one shot and then throw acrylic powder over it. I had to do each individual diamond and move little by little. So that was a little bit annoying, but we did get the job done. After my pinky, I moved on to my index finger. The first thing I did was I went ahead and did a purple French. It's a very thick purple French at the bottom of the nail to sort of cover the ombre line. And one thing I wish I would have done differently is not bring the ombre so far down. That way you can see more of the icicle, because even if I had not put this purple French line, you still can't see that much of the icicle. So I wish I would have done it a little bit further up, but it's still to show a little bit, and it's still really, really cute. So I do 2 coats of this purple French line, and then I just go ahead and replicate that snowflake right at the top.
My stocking's filled with was just a boy. Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with...
I do want to mention really quick that I actually don't show the rest of my thumb in this video, and that's because the thumb is the exact same as my middle finger, just in different colors. So I do show the final look for my thumb, but I just don't show the process.
I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
For my middle finger, what I do is take some cat eye gel polish. This one is by Beetles, and I create a bow. Now, originally I wanted each individual side of the bow to have sort of its own separate cat eye, but once I did it, I realized that I didn't really like it, and it looks better when the bows reflects evenly. So I do end up curing this side, but once I start creating the left side of the bow, I do go back and redo the right side. That way they both reflect evenly when you're moving the nail. So one thing you want to keep in mind whenever you're doing a design like this is that you want to cure whatever you like as a reflection first before you move on to the next cat eye part. If you leave everything uncured, everything will move all together, and I didn't want that. So I did the bow itself first, did my cat eye reflection the way I wanted it, and fully cured it. Then after that, I start working on this ribbon part here. That way when I go to move the magnets in the ribbon, the bow itself isn't shifting. Next, I went ahead and took some of that baby blue gel polish and just outlined the ribbon and the bow. I do go back in and add a couple of swirls to the center of the bow just to give it a little bit more detail. I just forgot to show that part. And I add a cute little pearl at the center of the bow. After that, I top coated only the bow. I don't top coat the entire nail. And then I went ahead and started working on my snowflake. One of the last things that I do just to make the nails pop a little bit more is I do add some silver rhinestones to the center of each individual snowflake. I was gonna do a pearl as well, but I just like the way the rhinestones look a little bit better. This was the final look for the snail design. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I wanted to do something that was a little bit different and fun for the holiday season. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.